Happy All-Star Week. I'm Shannon from LineStar, and today's one of my favorite days of the year when the entire sports community can just sit back, relax, and pay homage to one of the greatest feats in sports, the dinger. We're talking about the home run derby, and in this video, I'll be breaking down the field, the ballpark, the conditions you should be looking for, and who I'm betting on to win the derby this year. So let's get right into it. This year's field, the favorite, Raleigh, big dumper, plus 300 to win it. Followed by Oneil Cruz, James Wood, Byron Buxton, Matt Olson, Junior Caminero, Brent Rooker, and Jazz Chisholm. Do me a huge favor before I get into the next part, which will be going over the format. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and comment below. Let me know who you think is taking home the crown this year. Here's a quick recap of the rules. There's 3 rounds. The first round, 8 hitters will have 3 minutes or 40 pitches, whichever comes first, to hit homers. There's also a bonus period for each player until they reach 3 outs. If a player does hit a home run of at least 425 feet within the bonus period, the period is extended until the player records a 4th out. The top 4 with the most homers will advance to the semifinals. In the semifinals, it's straight knockout style seeding based on how many homers they hit in round 1. Each player will have 2 minutes, 27 pitches, and the top 2 will advance to the finals. Again, the same thing, 2 minutes, 27 pitches to determine who will win the home run derby. Next, let's talk about the venue and how it impacts home runs. Truist Park in Atlanta is relatively neutral overall, but does somewhat favor lefties, particularly with the home runs. As you can see, the home run score for lefties, 106, which ranks 7th in Major League Baseball, whereas for righty bats, it's a home run score of 99, which ranks 16th in Major League Baseball. The dimensions are somewhat friendlier to lefties because it's 10 feet shorter to right field, both down the line and in the power alley. One important note, though, about the outfield fences, Truist Park has a huge 16-foot wall in right, while the wall down the left field line is just 6 feet high. So that is also something we need to take into consideration. Next, let's dive into some of these contenders, but not only am I focusing on the hitter, I'm also focusing on who's going to be pitching to them because in my opinion, derby hitters are only as good as the guy who's throwing to them. So that's also something we're taking into consideration here, something I think is often overlooked. But let's start off with the favorite, big jumper, Raleigh, plus 300 to win it. No surprise why Raleigh's the favorite here. Leads Major League Baseball with 38 homers this year. He's a switch hitter with power from both sides of the plate. One thing to consider, though, is that his pitcher will be his father, Todd Raleigh, and his younger brother will be catching. And while that's an awesome story, we'd love to see it, great storyline there, you always wonder how those family members are going to perform under the high pressure of this nationally televised event. But he has gotten advice from his teammate Julio Rodriguez, who reached the final round in 2022, but no catcher has ever won the Derby. And only 2 sluggers have ever won with their dad as their batting practice pitcher, Robinson Cano in 2011 and Bryce Harper in 2018. It can be done. Hasn't been done in a while, but Raleigh, big dumper, the favorite to do so. I am not personally throwing any money on that. Next up, let's talk about Pirates outfielder Oneil Cruz, plus 310. Like that we've got a lefty bat here. 16 homers for him. His pitcher is Pirates assistant coach and his interpreter, Steven Morales, who I like the fact that he's played 7 years professionally as a catcher. Sometimes it seems like the best BP throwers were former catchers for some reason. And he and Cruz have reportedly gone through extensive preparation, according to ESPN's Buster Olney. He's also been getting advice from Vlad Guerrero, who won it 2 years ago. And Vladdy Guerrero also gave some pretty pivotal advice to last year's winner, Teoscar Hernandez, who he told to stop focusing on pulling the ball to left field and use a more natural swing toward left center field. That ended up being some winning advice there. So he's got good advice, good guidance, a good pitcher here, and he's also mashing the ball this season. He hit a baseball 122.9 miles per hour. That ranked the fastest of the tracking era and has the second longest homer on the season out of the Derby field at 463 feet. He's young, 26 years old. We love the lefty bat with stamina. So Oneil Cruz plus 310 is a nice pick there, as is the next guy. Nationals outfielder James Wood plus 370. The 22-year-old lefty bat has 24 homers on the year. His pitcher is going to be Nationals third base coach Ricky Gutierrez, who's a former infielder who's basically known for the consistency of his arm. Love that we have a nice pitching coach who's not going to be fazed by the pressure, by the crowd. Also, his teammate Josh Bell competed in 2019 and has been able to give him a lot of advice like, take your time, don't do anything fancy, that sort of thing. 11 of James Wood's 24 homers have gone to center field, which leads Major League Baseball. So this is a lefty bat with insane pull power, could do well there. From a young up-and-comer to a 31-year-old vet, Twins outfielder Byron Buxton, plus 850 to win the Derby here. Buxton's got 21 homers on the season, and he will be thrown to by Twins third base coach Tommy Watkins. So another good pitcher situation here with a guy who's seasoned, knows what it's all about. And Buxton was born and raised just 250 miles from Truist Park in Baxley, Georgia. And Buxton actually has the longest homer of anyone in the Derby field at 479 feet this season. This is a righty bat, top 10% in barrel percentage, hard hit rate, and bat speed. And I feel like Buxton's been so injury riddled over the years. He's finally healthy. This is his time to shine. Buxton is also insanely athletic. Not only does he have the longest home run this season among the Derby contestants, he's also the league's second fastest runner. Byron Buxton, to me, is the perfect prototype for this type of contest that really demands speed, power, and endurance. Buxton's a nice play here. Next up, let's go to Atlanta Braves first baseman Matt Olson, plus 900. I love that we're getting a lefty power bat here, 17 home runs on the year. Now, he's in the field after replacing Ronald Acuna Jr., who's been dealing with injuries. He is the only contestant with past experience. He was in it in 2021. And remember that lefties are at a slight advantage with that spacious left center field. And I like who his pitcher is. It's a former catcher, Eddie Perez, longtime coach with the Braves. He's not going to be fazed. Remember, this is Truist Park, so this is their stomping grounds. I like the situation for Olson. He hasn't had the practice the other contestants have had because he's kind of pinch hitting, but he does have the experience, remember, back in 2021, so I like it. Hometown guy hasn't won it, though, since Bryce Harper did it back in D.C. in 2018. Next up is Rays third baseman Junior Caminero, 22-year-old righty bat with 23 bombs on the year. His pitcher will be Rays MLB field coordinator Tomas Francisco, who has experience in the Derby. He actually threw to Randy Arozarena, who made it to the championship round versus Vladimir Guerrero Jr. And Francisco understands what this contest demands, which is consistency, endurance, and he understands the tendency, having been in this situation before, for competitors and pitchers to speed up. So I like the situation for the 22-year-old righty bat from the Tampa Bay Rays. Junior Caminero also has the second fastest bat speed in all of baseball this season, so not a bad long shot there. And next, let's go to Athletics outfielder Brent Rooker, who has 20 home runs on the year. He's a tater machine, and his pitcher is longtime coach Joe Caruso, who throws to him in the offseason, so they have a lot of experience together. However, Joe Caruso hasn't ever performed on this kind of a stage, so that's one thing to note here. Although Rooker says he's probably seen him hit in the cage more than anybody and has thrown to him more than anybody in his life, so it should be a good relationship out there. And lastly, the biggest long shot to win the home run derby is Yankees infielder Jazz Chisholm, lefty bat with 17 home runs on the year. He will also be making it a family affair as his stepfather, Jaron Sands, who is still in the Bahamas when Jazz Chisholm called him with the news that he would be throwing to him. Now, Sands has thrown BP to Jazz Chisholm basically his whole life and also threw to him in the Don't Blink Bahamas Home Run Derby, but has never thrown in front of a crowd like he's going to experience tonight at Truist Park. So Jazz Chisholm with the longest odds to win the Derby. All right, so after going over the field, who do I like for the Home Run Derby champion? I'm going with Byron Buxton, plus 850. Tremendous value for a veteran who's not going to be fazed by the situation. I also like the combination of skills and how it kind of pairs with this contest. He's very athletic. I think he's got the endurance. He's got the power. We know he's got that. Even though it is a righty bat at a lefty-friendly venue, I still love the situation here for Byron Buxton. His third base coach is throwing it to him, so his third base coach familiar with this type of setting and this type of environment. I like Byron Buxton here, but I don't mind Matt Olson either, a guy who has experience in this situation back in 2021. So that's a decent way to play it as well. But I'm putting my money on Byron Buxton. Remember, this is just for fun. We're just trying to have a good time out there and bet responsibly. If you've got a lock for tonight's Home Run Derby winner, let me know in the comments. Good luck. Let's have some fun watching this year's Home Run Derby. See you guys next time.